So while I was out in my travels this weekend, I came across a Cub Cadet sitting along the road. It had a sign on it. I didn't know what it said. I thought, well, I'll stop on my way back through. And I stopped, and it was a 2284 Super Cub garden tractor and had a sign on the front with a phone number, and it said, make an offer. So I called, got no answer, went and knocked on the door at the house, got no answer. The neighbor guy came out, left my information with him, and later on, after I was at home, I got a call from the owner of the tractor. And I said, what do you want for that thing? I saw it was missing a steering wheel, and it looks like it's got some pretty bad oil leaks at the front there. And can you tell me a little bit about it, and what are you looking to get out of it? And basically he said, I'm just done with it. I don't want it anymore. I don't need it anymore. And then he told me he had another one just like it. So this is the other one just like it. And I ended up bringing both of them home. And I got an incredible deal on them. And this one here, he told me that when he parked it in the shed several months back, it ran. He wasn't sure what was wrong with it or if it would run at all now. We pushed it out, pushed it on the trailer. I got it home, and I got it running before I got it off the trailer. Had to get some fuel going into the carburetor, and of course the battery was dead. We had to jump it. So we got it running, and first thing I noticed was it wouldn't charge. So looked in the side here and down here at the voltage regulator. Mice were in here, and you can see they got a nice little nest going there. And they chewed through the ground wire right here, and they had chewed completely through one of the stator wires. So I just cut the wires and put individual connectors on each of the wires there going into the voltage regulator, and put a new ground wire on it. And now the charging system works fine. Battery still needs to be replaced, but I can jump it and still run it around. So as you can probably guess, being that it's a 2284, it has a 22 horsepower engine. It's a Kohler Command V-twin. So it's a pretty good engine, pretty strong commercial series engine from them. And I'm happy about that, because if I was going to have one, I'd want the Command in there. Just the days I had doing the tractor pulls and stuff, I know that the Commands are good, strong engines, and there's a lot of stuff you can do to them and a lot of parts available for them. So, excuse me, definitely pleased with that. You can see here, has power steering, and that was one of the main reasons why I wanted a bigger tractor like this, because I have several garden tractors. I have a loader frame laying out here that I need to put on a tractor because of all the stuff I do around home here. And this is a prime candidate for that now. With the power steering, bigger front tires, the 26-inch rear tires, you get nice ground clearance, nice hefty cast iron front axle in the front. So that's the main reason why I stopped to check this out, and why I ended up buying it. Why I got the second one, well, it was a good deal, and I thought, well, I might need parts down the road. But then again, the second one is actually in better shape cosmetically than this one, so I might just end up having to fix both of them up and have one to show and one to go. So I'll show you around here on the other side of this. If you're unfamiliar with the Super Cubs, this was another thing that I really wanted, the individual brake pedals. And this is rare to find on a garden tractor these days. It was rare even back in the 90s to find a model that had individual brake pedals on it. You're kind of limited on what you could get with that, but that's a nice feature to have, especially on a tractor like this. It doesn't have a differential lock on it, but you get into those situations where your front end's a little bit light and you just can't get good steering. You can lock up the brakes on one side or the other and help you steer this tractor and whatever you're towing or pulling or pushing. Now this center piece right here, this tunnel is plastic, and the Super Cub frames are actually a little bit longer than the regular Cub Cadet tractor frame. So that piece there, it's plastic, and it's also longer than on the regular tractors. That's where they make this a little bit longer here. They're fitting pretty big mower decks under here, so they needed some more space between the back tires and the front tires to get those big wide mower decks on there. This one actually came with a 60-inch mower deck, and it is huge. It takes up every little bit of that room between the back tire and the front tire, and it sticks way out on either side. You can definitely get close and do some trimming with this thing with that big 60-inch mower deck on there. Now, I do have the side panels for it. They're all in one piece. They're in good shape yet. The other one has the entire front end on it, and it's all in good shape. So that's definitely a positive. This one was missing the air cleaner cover. Rob did off of a parts engine I have down in my shed, so that we could drive around and wasn't sucking all kinds of dirt in there and going to ruin the engine. Plastic was good on the dash here, nothing really broken up. The steering wheel, as I said, is missing on the other one. Not a big deal to round one of them up, but everything was good on this one. It was missing the knob here. I had to put that on because otherwise it's just too short to grab that lever there for the motion control, especially when you're sitting on a seat and you're up really high. You gotta keep leaning way front to get this thing to go forward. So I threw that on there. This is for your hydraulic lift for your mower deck or any other attachments. Electric PTO, got the choke down here, of course your throttle, and all your idiot lights in the dash there. You can see we got our hydraulic lines running down here. And then in the back, I'm going to get a rear hitch for this thing, probably a category 0 3-point hitch. I would like to have rear PTO, but it's not really a necessity. They're kind of hard to come by and a bit pricey for these things. So not really important, but if I come across one, then I'll throw it on there. The transmission is seeping a little bit of oil, but again, it's got between 700 and 800 hours on it, so it's kind of earned that right to leak a little bit. This is a crossover tube they use. The fuel tank, there's an open part of the tank here and then over here, and then in the middle it kind of thins down a bit, and then this is a crossover tube that goes between one side to the other to kind of help it breathe, so you don't get those air bubbles and vapor locking on there if it's too full or anything. So I got to put that back on there. I was going to just reach up there and stick it back on the nipple on the tank, but then when I looked in the end of the hose, I realized it's hard to see, but it's plugged completely solid in there with cobweb, so I'm just going to replace it. I got to replace the rest of the fuel lines anyway because they're dried out, they're brittle, and you can see the mice were chewing on them too. So that's a hazard. Gotta get that taken care of. On the other side of the engine here, I'm not quite sure what they had going on, but for whatever reason, the shroud is just completely chopped out there. I don't know if they did that, if they were trying to replace an ignition coil or what, and then put some flashing on there to cover up the hole. So someday when I get motivated and I can leave this thing sit for a while, I'm gonna have to pull the engine out there and put a new shroud on this thing. I have another one laying around here somewhere. So that's it. That's our look here at our Cub Cadet 2284 that we picked up. You can see it even has the original Cub Cadet tires on it most of the way around. The two in the front of the Cub Cadet tires, this one here in the back, is the 26-inch Cub Cadet turf tire, and then they had a replacement on this side. So the other tractor has the Cub labeled turf tires the whole way around on it. They don't hold air yet. I don't know if it's just because they were sitting so long or if they need tubes put in them, but probably get them swapped around onto this one so we have matching tires the whole way around. But just wanted to get some footage of this thing, you know, before we go cleaning it up or doing much more work to it, just so you can kind of see where we were starting at and give you an idea of what we had here to work with. So that's it. That's our 2284, and keep checking back to see the progress we make on this thing and little things here and there we got to fix up on it as we go. All right, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and keep checking back because you never know what we're going to get into next or what project we're going to find sitting around along the road.